सर्वधर्मान् परित्यज्य मामेकं शरणं व्रज.
The miseries of material existence and the most hopeless conditions of life is the best possible opportunity to turn to God.
You're listening to Bare Knuckle Bhakti Shorties on the Bhakti Recovery Podcast with Jiva G, coming at you every Monday with a little spiritual something. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good everything, good whatever time. Hello, guys. Hi, friends. It's Monday again. It is Monday again. I've just come back from Vienna. My son and I went down there for a few days. So just right before school, this is his last year of high school. And I wanted to have a couple of days with him alone. We had a good time. It's really nice to spend time with my son and family. You know what I wanted to talk about today? I really wanted to talk about how vast spiritual life is. And in every form. Let me be a little more specific here. I've chosen the path of Bhakti and 12 steps. For me, at this point in my life, they're merged as one path. And I see other people advancing on other paths, advancing beautifully, and watching them is watching them unfold and get closer to God is amazing and inspiring. You know, someone asked me, like a regular devotee asked me, why do you have Mother Teresa? Why do you have Mother Mary and Mother Teresa on your altar? Or one of my altars. And it's really simple. It's not, and plus, of course, we're going to hear all this stuff about Mother Teresa and how horrible she was and all the terrible things she's done. And, I choose to not know, because I just don't know if it's true, if it's not true, if it is, who knows? What I do choose to do, though, is look at her love and devotion to God. And that was her path. And that's what I not only love, I worship that. I worship the love that Mother Teresa had for Jesus. I read all of her books. I mean, she didn't write any of them, but they're written about her. And some of those books, or one of those books in specific, were letters that she had actually asked never to be published, but they were. I don't know how to explain that, but it's not my circus, not my monkeys, but I read it. And how she spoke of Jesus is how a gopi speaks about Krishna. And there's nothing more worshipful than that, as far as I'm concerned. And when devotees ask me, well, we also have in our own tradition, this and that. Yeah, we do. And, why we say we're not this body, I will insert that we are not this body in this situation. Mother Mary speaks to me. Mother Yashoda speaks to me too, but Mother Mary speaks to me stronger. It doesn't mean I'm not a devotee. What is Bhakti? Bhakti is the practice of service and devotion. And if somebody does it in a way, no matter what God they're serving and loving and devoting to, if they're doing it in a way, in a mood, in a rasa that I love, that should only step up my game in Bhakti. I'm open. And I can't, I could never tell anyone that they're worshiping the wrong God, or I just find that horribly ignorant. And I can only share from my own experience, and that's my experience. And sometimes in my experience, I've found that there are certain Catholics like Richard Rohr with Universal Christ, and his whole posse. I find that so inspiring, and I can take their mood of loving Christ and bringing it to my Bhakti to love Krishna, who in my opinion is the same thing. In so many ways. There are cultural differences, there are all of that. I mean, we don't even have to get into that. My point here is that if it's inspiring to my Bhakti and helping me love God more and better, then I'll take it. And that's something I guess I was struggling with when I first got into Bhakti yoga. When I got into yoga and started doing my teacher training, which was a 2-year training, 800 hours. And it was a very, very amazing 2-year, 800-hour holistic yoga teacher training, Hatha yoga, where you needed to learn Sanskrit, the asanas, of course. That was actually, the asanas were the Gita. We learned everything. We learned every type of yoga, Bhakti, Jnana. We learned all of the yogas. We had to learn Sanskrit. We had to remember verses in the Gita. It wasn't some sort of like asana yoga teacher training. And all of the yogas were set out, and I took to Bhakti like white on rice. Because I found Bhakti very similar to a 12-step program, quite simply. Because it's not only in your mind or making, for me, and this is the thing, other people, they find it way better. Other types of yoga, it's better for their personalities or whatever it is, and that's great. For me, I need hands-on, tangible stuff. Hands-on, tangible. And that's what Bhakti is. There's so much doing and functioning. And I need that. I need it to be from my brain into my, or in my heart to my brain to my hands. And that's, like, for me, that's functional spirituality, which makes sense to me. So in Bhakti, we do have these, like, prescribed duties, these things that we can, I like to call them prescribed options, suggestions, because they are suggestions. And it's also a suggestion when you jump out of a plane, you should wear a parachute. So I choose to take as many as I can. And the thing is, everyone can read a book. We can all read a book. But what stays in our mind? What is it that we take with us? We can go through the motions, but do we really get, like, I could read Hesse to a 2-year-old. Is a 2-year-old going to understand what I'm talking about? No, probably not. Going to be bored, wants to suck on its pacifier, whatever it does. It doesn't want to listen to Hermann Hesse, right? So it's kind of the same thing. We have these suggestions. We have the 4 regs. We listen, we hear, we chant, we do kirtan, we do all these things. And these are motions. These are actions. This is actual interaction with what Bhakti is. Now, whether we internalize that, that's a whole nother story. So when I hear Prabhupada saying, just chant and be happy. Okay. We can chant and be happy. Those are the motions. But to truly understand, it is a long, long, long process, just like the steps. And for me, working the 12 steps of any 12-step program is going to actually accelerate that in a very simple way. Because I'll tell you, by the time I get through reading everything, the Bhagavatam, I mean, all of the readings that we have, by the time I'm finished with one book, I forget it, and then I'm on to the next book. The 12 steps are like condensing all of that into a very simple way of doing things while giving me time to unfold in my bhakti practices. Why can't I chant a good round? Well, maybe I haven't done a great 4-step. Maybe I got all this guilt and shame. Why haven't I done a 9-step? Well, maybe because I think I'm chanting so lovely and everything that God forgives me, so I don't need to do it. Do you see what I'm getting at here? These are tools. All of them are tools. They're not separable in my mind. My bhakti practice is as clean as my program. Everything is as clean as my program. If I'm not working my program, if I'm not doing my suggested things, that's going to be how I view the world on that day. We have a daily reprieve. And if each and every day, like each small day, or even every minute or every hour, if I'm doing something right, that's a plus in the spiritual bank account. I mean, there are people who are very, very intelligent, scholastically intelligent, book-wise, book-smart. There's a lot of that. That's not me. I learn by doing. I'm not that intelligent in that way. And that's fully fine. I'm not saying that that's a bad thing. That's totally fine for me. That's why bhakti is perfect for me. But by doing things over and over again, that's how it will eventually sink in. You know the expression, insanity is repeating the same things over and over, expecting different results? Well, this is the opposite. If I do something over and over and over again, which is good, the results will be slow for me, but they will be good. If I'm having, first of all, I have to say, I'm not saying this to toot my horn, but with the 4 regs, I have no issue. That's, for me, super easy. I have my challenges with chanting. My chanting is it's so difficult for me to chant. My mind is everywhere. And until now, and I've been practicing bhakti, a practicing bhakti yogi for a couple of years, about 7 years or so now, a beginner. But I still haven't been able to chant one round, which is clean. And I used to struggle so much with that. I struggled. Where am I going wrong in my program? Why can't I do it? Blah, 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 blah. There's so many reasons why I can't do it. First of all, I mean, I really don't even like to have these labels, but, because today in this new world society, we have a diagnosis for everything, but I'm seriously ADHD. And actually, I was diagnosed that when I was 11. I don't even know if they called it that back then. So it's very hard for me to sit and chant and pay attention in that way. It's very challenging. It's double challenging. So I accept that. I just say that is what it is. This is the body I was given. These are the things that I was given. The only thing I can do is just keep moving forward. That's it. Don't take it personally. Don't take myself too personally or seriously in that way. I don't take myself seriously. I do take my recovery seriously, and I take my bhakti seriously, but I don't take myself too seriously. And that's a really good thing to have. So whatever it is that you're doing to improve either your recovery or your practice, your spiritual practice, whether that's bhakti yoga, whether that's whatever it is, get inspired. And I didn't make the mistake. Or no, you know what? I was going to talk about this before. I did. I didn't make the mistake, but I was very confused because while I love Bhakti Yoga, I had like Mother Mary calling me really, really, really strongly. And it made me think like, wow, should I be a Catholic? Shouldn't I be a Catholic? Or should I be, what should I do now? And then of course, all the conditionings. My dad was Jewish, like, don't ever become a Catholic. That's like the worst thing to become a Catholic, like betray all your people. But you know what? In the end, I'm just going to keep following this Bhakti thing and get my inspirations from everyone. Doesn't mean I have to be a Catholic because I love Mother Mary. It just means I love her rasa, I love her mood, I love how she loves God. And I'm going to take that and I'm going to bring that into my life. And I'm going to let that inspire me. I think most of the people who don't appreciate stuff like that are scared, to tell you the truth. I don't want to take anyone's inventory, but that's the feeling that I get. They're fearful of jumping faith, fearful of not being the perfect devotee. And I went through that already. And I don't want to go through that anymore. I'm good. I got my rough bouts. I think you guys here, I pretty much talk about everything here. I think you've all seen and heard when I'm not in a good space. It's part of it, man. It's part of life. It's really part of life. All of these ups and downs and valleys and peaks and valleys, and it's just all part of life. Anyway, I think I'm rambling now, so I'm going to end this. I love you guys. I'm super happy to be here talking, loving this, and thank you everyone for your wonderful, not everyone, but a few people have given me feedback. People who have my number and stuff have given me feedback. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it because I never really know exactly if I'm just talking to myself or if you guys are getting something from it or something you don't like about it. I'm perfectly open to all kinds of feedback, even if it's feedback where you're like, I'm not so sure I like this or whatever it is. Please don't be shy and do that. I also wanted to mention before we go, I will be in India. Well, first of all, I will be in Philadelphia for Rath Yatra on the 28th of September. That's like in 28 days or 27 days. I'll be hanging around Philly area for a week and a half or so. Then I'm going up to the farm for the Wisdom of the Sages retreat. I'll be having some BRG meetings. If anyone's interested in coming, please go to Wisdom of the Sages and check out that on the website. And I will be going to India again with Wisdom of the Sages, but we will have a Bhakti recovery meeting almost every day. I think every day. And I would love for anyone to come. There will be not only Bhakti recovery stuff, there's going to be wisdom training, there could be harmonium training, all kinds of stuff. It's really a fair price. Go to Wisdom of the Sages, check that out, the website, wisdomofthesages.com, and sign up and come on out to India. We have such a great time every time. It's beautiful. And believe me, those who think that, oh my God, India, no. This is like some luxury resort. It's in Govardhan Eco Village. It's a spiritual place which is extremely clean. It's an eco village which is self-sustainable. The rooms are amazing. You feel like a queen or a king when you're there, or a princess. So come on and sign up. Join us. All right, guys. Enough of that. Love y'all. Haribo.
Thanks for listening. I hope you liked the Monday Shorties. Don't forget to check out our full-length episodes on Thursdays. If you like what you heard, spread the word. Peace out.
सर्वधर्मान् परित्यज्य मामेकं शरणं व्रज.
The miseries of material existence and the most hopeless conditions of life is the best possible opportunity to turn to God.